Good morning. What is going on? Hopefully, you guys are having an amazing day. Welcome to the masterclass, the SEO, the Etsy SEO Advantage. I'm glad you're here to learn a little bit more about this SEO thing, this mysterious creature, uh, the Bigfoot of marketing. SEO. It's not as complicated as we make it out to be. There are definitely some main factors and some things that we can control to make our lives a lot easier, which is what I want to talk about today with you guys, so that you don't have to struggle as much. You have a little bit more insight on what to do in your shop, what to take action on, so you can actually see some real results. So we're going to give it a couple of minutes to let all these stragglers roll into the webinar. And if you guys want to start sharing where you're from all around the world or the US, it's always kind of cool to see where everyone's calling in from, where everyone is joining me. I don't think anyone's calling me from a country where it's the middle of the night, but maybe if you want to get up and, and listen to me yap for an hour about SEO, I mean, you're really committed, so that's kind of cool. And I drew a little stick figure here because this is a kind of amazing graphics that you guys can expect in this presentation. I'm obviously not an artist, like a lot of, or not as skilled in that regard as probably some of you guys are joining me here. So share in the chat where you're joining me from, and then we will go ahead and get started in just a couple of seconds. Get rolling on this thing. We got a lot to go over. All right, so make sure you guys stay to the end. I have some gold nuggets for you, some really good pro tips as far as SEO stuff that you don't want to miss. I also have some more resources that you guys can snag as well. That'll really add some gasoline to your business and Etsy growth. And this, of course, is my happy stick guy. All right, so you're in the right place if you don't know what the heck SEO is, have limited time, or struggling with Etsy, want to build your business, and are serious about learning. And I'm really glad that you guys are here. You want to come hang out with me, take some time to learn more about improving your Etsy business. Many sellers and business owners do not want to invest in their businesses with knowledge, which really makes no sense to me. It's like going to see a heart surgeon that's never been to school, right? It's like, how the heck do they know what to do? Same thing goes with business or anything that you start. You have to learn and invest in it with knowledge to be better and move faster and all the stuff that comes along with it. So I'm glad that you guys are here. If you don't know who I am, I'm LL. I'm a corporate quitter. I quit the corporate world in 2018 to do Etsy full time and haven't looked back ever since. I'm the founder of handmadeandbeyond.com, as well as the Likewise podcast, YouTube channel, and the newly formed Etsy Games. I'm an Etsy and marketing nerd. I do have a degree, a master's in marketing, but I really don't use that. It's not really practical, unfortunately. The real world stuff that I had to learn out there works a lot better. I'm dedicated to helping other Etsy sellers, and I, of course, am a dog lover, animal lover. I have 2 Pekingese. One's behind me sleeping and hopefully doesn't start snoring too loud, because she likes to snore when she gets really into helping me, quote unquote, work. All right, so where I started my Etsy journey, of course, I started with hair, and then I eventually lost it. So I had to superimpose some hair here for you to give you an idea what I look like with hair. So I started at the corporate grind. Like I said, I was a director. I had probably 150 employees under me, 7 divisions I managed. It was really stressful. I had no time freedom. I had no control over my time, which is, I'm sure a lot of you guys are in the same place. I wanted to do my own thing. Not that I work less, sometimes I do, but it's just I have control over when I work, how much I work, how long I work. I can take vacations when I want. I don't have to answer to anybody, which is kind of nice. I had minimal Etsy sales. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I was like a lost little boy in the forest. And then I was, of course, alone and frustrated, because selling online or starting a business is a lonely journey, right? You don't know what to do. You don't know who to turn to. You don't know what to listen to. You don't know what to do next. So it can definitely be a lonely journey. But where I am now, over 540, if I can spit that out, in Etsy sales in my #1 shop. I had other Etsy shops as well. Freedom over my time. I get daily consistent sales, so it is pretty consistent. There's always ebbs and flows, right? But I've got to the point where it is consistent. I have a plan, a consistent plan that I follow that I've learned to implement over the last 10 years. And then I'm also motivated and excited, especially when I have to talk to you guys and help other Etsy sellers out and overcome hurdles. So again, it wasn't always easy. It's really kind of stunning to look back and see like where I'm at now, because I still remember the day that I got my first sale, you know what I mean? After months. And I remember it was exciting, but it's like, it's kind of funny to think about that now. It's like months to get a first sale and I was excited, you know? But it's funny to look back on that. And there was lots of days where I wanted to quit, lots of days where I didn't want to work on my Etsy business. You know, I worked on my Etsy business during lunch, before work, after work, lots of days where I didn't want to do that, but I did it anyways. I made lots of mistakes. So I moved a lot slower because I didn't know what the heck I was doing, which really slowed everything down. I, didn't know what I was doing, didn't know, who to listen to, all that stuff. And it just made my journey a lot slower. So really it took me the last 10 years to figure out and refine my processes. Even though stuff worked, I iterated on it and made it better, and created a repeatable system that I've followed that saves me a ton of time and helps me be a lot more efficient, helps me make a lot more progress and do things faster. So I don't want it to take you guys that long. That's why I'm doing things like this, to hopefully help you move along in your journey a lot faster. So why am I doing this? Full transparency. So in my corporate days, I did a lot of coaching and teaching of employees. I really enjoyed kind of that interaction, seeing the transformation through of success through coaching, through helping people, through motivating people. So it was really impactful for me. So naturally, when I started running my own business, with Etsy and the other things that I'm doing, cracking the code to more Etsy sales is great. Seeing that progress is great. But what was missing for me was kind of the ability to impact others, and to start helping others, to share knowledge with others, to help them kind of move along in the same journey. So that's why I formed Handmade and Beyond. That's why I started the newly formed Etsy Games, to do just that. So running an online business, can be lonely, like I said before. And I really want to be there to kind of be that motivation, to be that support system, to be that motivational presence for you guys, to be able to have someone that you can turn to, that you can rely on, that will help you, that will be trustworthy, to help you move your business forward. So you don't have to do it alone, and don't have to do it by yourself. And in the full transparency of that, I'm an entrepreneur at heart, right? So I have a lot of different things that I like doing in terms of the entrepreneurial stuff, which means I'm always thinking of ways to add and diversify revenue streams. Most successful people have multiple revenue streams. So when one takes a hit, the other one's not destroyed. So of course, people do pay me for my time and expertise to coach them, but I also help them and thousands of others through weekly webinars, videos, training sessions, podcasts, and tons of other free downloadable content and stuff that I offer to help you guys move forward. So regardless, whether I'm helping people move forward in their journey, it's a win-win. If I can earn a living doing it, it's a win-win. If I continue to run my Etsy business, it's a win-win for me. And that's why I'm passionate about this stuff. So by the end of this webinar, the goal for today, to really start diving into this, is for you to have a complete understanding of what SEO is, how it impacts your Etsy business, and how to use it to your advantage. I also want to talk about the top SEO mistakes to avoid, so you don't have to run into the common pitfalls that a lot of people run into that holds them back. I'm going to dive into some SEO tips that you definitely don't want to miss with some super secret top pro tips. Insert any other super cool adjectives that you're going to love. And then I'll talk about some a great offer to help you even more with your business. And then we'll dive into some Q&A, and then we'll wrap up and say some goodbyes. And maybe if you're lucky, you'll get a few amazing dad jokes thrown in. So, all right, let's go. So what is SEO? So I told you there'd be some amazing graphics in this presentation. So here we go. So basically, many people overthink SEO and think that it's like a mythical creature like Bigfoot or something like that. So Bigfoot, unlike Bigfoot, it does exist and you can learn to master it. So sorry if you're a Bigfoot enthusiast, but I need a little bit more evidence, a little more proof to see if you're real or not. But SEO or search engine optimization is how you get found. So hence this picture, you want these customers to come to your shop and you don't want them to go to this shop. So the better you are at getting found, the more they're going to come to your shop. So basically, simply put, it's how you get found. It consists of an algorithm, which is a computer code, not to get too in the weeds with this, which tallies up a bunch of factors and data about basically how buyers are, which listings are shown to buyers, and then decides which listings will be shown to them and when they'll be shown to them, and it will show the best match to them. So the biggest takeaway of this is the algorithm's only goal in life, besides taking over the world one day, just kidding, maybe, is to make sales for Etsy. So SEO is always changing, and it's different between platforms, which makes it more elusive and frustrating. And this is, I think, what frustrates a lot of people, is because it is always changing, but you can't pay attention to that. You can't get in the weeds with the changes. The goal is not to try and game the system, but to use tried and true SEO techniques I'm about to talk about in this training that will work no matter how much SEO changes, because the foundational elements of SEO are not going to change. You know, the basics of SEO are not going to change. So if you're trying to game the system and do some type of technique that's not going to last, then you may do well for a short period of time, then your shop's going to tank once it changes again. So if you do the foundational stuff, it's not going to hurt you when the changes will come, which inevitably they will come. So I don't want to get too caught up in all the technicalities of SEO, because this is, I think, where you get frustrated and you get in trouble and then give up. So I want to make it really, really simple for you. And of course, moving on, it's important before we move any further for this reminder for you guys. And I know this is a badass tornado I drew. You can buy it on Etsy for $5.99. Just kidding. Unless you really want it, then I'll put it in my Etsy shop. But seriously, remember to focus only on what you guys can control. The rest is just noise and will hold you back. So many sellers focus on things they can't control. You know, SEO changes or different things, that policy changes, things that are kind of out of your control. This stuff will hold you back if you get into the weeds of it, and it'll make you turn negative. So I want to implore you to focus on the things in your business that you can control, that you can impact every day. And this is why I put this tornado up here. So to demonstrate this point, because you can't control a tornado, just like you can't control the outside factors that will happen in any business, in any platform. So focus on the things in your business that you can control day in and day out. It'll keep you moving forward and it will stop holding you back. All right. So this should be your number one goal with your Etsy shop. And this is always something I always want you to keep in mind. Why do people sell on Etsy rather than their own website? Or why should they initially? Traffic. So this is why it's funny when people say that they're going to leave Etsy to do their own website or somewhere else, because if you leave Etsy, you have to generate your own traffic, which is the hardest part. Traffic is the hardest part. So you have to do an incredible amount of work or pay an incredible amount of money to generate your own traffic. And it's much easier to leverage the traffic Etsy is getting to work for you. They have millions of buyers and millions of searches. So it's much easier, and it should be your goal to get a very small piece of that traffic and those buyers to sustain your business. And there's so much traffic coming to Etsy that you don't need a lot of it to have a really, really nice business. You just need some of it. So this is part of this training. I want to show you how to capture that traffic. And that is really the essence of SEO, is just getting people to your shop, to your listings. All right, so here's some rules for you. These are 5 rules, and you can call them LL's rules of dominance. But seriously, if you follow these rules, you will get more sales and get your piece of that Etsy traffic. That is really the goal. So here we go. Rule number 1. So there must be demand for what you're selling. I'm really not sure why people forget this, but if there's no one searching for or wanting what you're selling, you're not going to sell your stuff, period. I know it stinks, and I know it may not be what some of you want to hear, but if there's no demand, you're not going to be able to sell your stuff. So you can have the most amazing shop in the world, but if no one wants what you've got, then you won't make any sales. So you have to do product demand research on Etsy, and you can there's a bunch of tools out there. I prefer Alora. There's eRank. There's a bunch of other ones to see traffic. You can even see sales totals based on different keywords, different niches. And the products may not be the exact same as yours. You don't have to be the same. You want to put your own flavor, your own spin on them, but your ideas or the subject matter and the content and the audience can be similar, and that's how you see the traffic potential and you see the potential audience, and by searching those different keywords, the different topics, to make sure that there is a demand for what you're about to sell, for the niche that you're about to get in. So that's really, really important. Rule number 2 is you must define your niche and target audience. So you cannot find success if you don't have a niche or target audience. So a lot of people try this out where they just try to sell to everyone. And you can't do this. The old marketing adage is if you try to market to everyone, you market to no one. So you have to at least try to have a specific niche, a specific audience in mind, and define that. And that's really going to give you the roadmap to go after to expand what you're doing in your business long term. And a niche helps you, again, define your target audience, which in returns gives you the path to follow, like I just said. And it also helps you leverage that SEO to your advantage. And to answer your question, you can have multiple niches. You can have multiple shops that have multiple niches. You want to try and make sure that at least makes some type of sense in your shop, but there's many shops that target multiple niches in your shop. And that is the best way to kind of go about this. And that's what I'm talking about. All right. Rule number 3, moving on, release product lines, not one-off products. So if a shop sells one animal print baby shirt, right? Just one, and another shop sells 20 different animal print shirts, which everything else is equal with these two shops, which listing do you think Etsy will show the buyer first? Well, the one with 20. And why is that? Well, Etsy's algorithm, like I said, Etsy's algorithm's only goal is to present buyers with the most relevant, best item that they think will have the highest chance of converting, customers buying it. So this, of course, is to make Etsy more money. And if that person doesn't find the item that they like and leaves the platform, that hurts you and Etsy. So your goal, again, is to help the algorithm help you by releasing product lines. So the chances of that algorithm showing that listing that has more than one is going to be a lot higher, because if they don't like that one, there's 19 other designs to choose from that are related to what they're looking for. So they're going to have a better buying experience. And also behind the scenes, to get in a little bit more weeds with this, is it works by giving the algorithm more data. So more keywords relating to that niche or customer search, and more keywords equal more potential reach, more potential traffic, more potential buyers. So it's more data pulling together to drive traffic and buyers your way. And I know you may have the question, vintage, it's slightly different if you sell vintage products. It's a little bit harder to do this because you don't have as much control, but you can still target specific vintage niches and sell specific things related to those niches and not just sell everything. It also makes sourcing a lot easier when you're going out looking for products to sell. If you specialize in a specific niche, you will be able to source a lot better and build your knowledge base a lot better. So it'll help you in that way too. All right, rule number 4. So I know a lot of people don't like doing this, but do product keyword research before releasing products. And sellers hate this part, but it's really, really important. And it's going to save you a lot of time and really help things move a lot faster. And it's similar to rule number 1, researching your niche before starting. But many shops just throw mud on the wall, just release products without seeing if there's any demand, without researching keywords, and they just throw it up there, do all that work initially, and then it doesn't sell. and it becomes a waste of time. So just because even you may be in a winning niche, but it doesn't mean every product will do well. You still got to do some research to see what else is out there to have a potential of success. That's all you're doing. You can't ever guarantee success, but it's just giving you a potential of success. It's getting you in the game. It's giving you an at bat. You may not hit a home run, you may not hit a double, but it's getting you in the game at least. So you need to arm yourself with the data to know if it's valuable or not. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. Again, many sellers do this, and it's a big mistake. And you can use tools. Again, you can even use the Etsy platform. You can search the Etsy platform, see how many products are out there. Usually there's a correlation between how many products are out there and the demand for those products. The higher demand, the more products usually. But there's also tools, again, Allura, eRank. They have free versions which you can use and do a little bit of research. And doing the research with some of the strategies that I'm talking about will help you just move a lot faster and save you guys a lot of time. All right, so that brings us to rule number 5, and I'm already starting to lose my voice a little bit. Have a strategic, consistent listing strategy. So your work is never done, and if that's your plan, if I could spit that out, you're probably not going to last, right? It's never a sit it and forget it. You're not going to open a shop and just leave it go, and it's going to just rake in the dough. It's not going to work like that. And the old adage in business is if you're not growing, you're dying. And the single best thing you can do now to continue to grow is add more listings. So this will literally help your shop grow in listing number, but it will also help you grow in sales and revenue. There is a correlation between listings and revenue. It's not a direct correlation, but there is a correlation. Your goal should be to add new listings every single week based on some of the strategical things I'm going to talk about, but new listings every week. And follow the previous rules I've set out for you. You must, again, be strategic. Don't just check a box. Don't just throw mud on the wall. You have to release stuff according to a strategy. So many people do it just to do it, and that is going to not help you grow. So here's some ideas on how to be a little bit more strategic. So you can release listings based on demand, like I talked about, but it's not the only thing that you can do. So Etsy and its customers give you a lot of information you can use to your advantage to help guide you for future decisions. So you can use data on what's selling or what's getting traffic to create more listings based on those factors. So that's a good indication, especially on what's selling. They're already telling you, they're paying with their wallets. They're telling you what they want to buy. So do more of what they want to buy. You can use what customers are asking for to create winning products. I've done this a lot. So if customers ask you for something you don't have, chances are other people want that thing. Some of my best-selling stuff is not my ideas. It's customers' ideas that I created, and I'm like, oh, I could probably sell this again. So that's a good, indication as well. You can create bundles and sets to increase sales and revenue. So this is another rabbit hole that I could go down, but I don't have enough time for. So all these strategies kind of roll up into your strategic, consistent listing strategy. How do you strategically release listings each and every week based on information that you have, based on what's working, not just throwing stuff against the wall? No, base it on actual things that you can tie back to, factors that you can tie back to that okay, this is the breadcrumbs that I'm going to follow, and this is the reasons why. If you put up a new listing and I ask you why you did that and you don't know, it's a wrong answer. You should be like, I did that because this is a trending item, or this is something that's sold similarly before. Those are the why. There should be a why behind what you're doing. All right, so these are the 5 rules. Follow these rules, and you will have at least a solid plan to move your business forward, a strategic plan to move you guys' businesses forward. Now I want to move into the top SEO mistakes. So in order for the rules that I just talked about to work effectively as they should, you want to avoid these top SEO mistakes, these common mistakes that people make. So number 1, the biggest one I see still is an incomplete shop. Missing banner, logo, announcement, about, shop members, FAQ, policies, all this sections should be filled out. Etsy's algorithm likes to see complete sections, complete shop. Not only that, buyers like to see that. It just looks better. It looks more professional. Would you go stop at a store randomly that's weird spot of town along the road that has no sign? It just has an open sign. It has no branding. You don't know what's in there. You don't know what to expect. You don't know if you're going to get murdered and thrown in a dumpster. No, you wouldn't. So fill out your shop sections. It's more dramatic, but fill out your shop sections. Number 2, incomplete listings. So this is another part of it. We open our shop and take so much time to get it open and get over the hurdle of being afraid to open. And then we do the listings half-assed, right? You're not going to be perfect at the beginning, right? You're going to make mistakes, but at least try to get it right the first time. And then you can kind of iterate on it. Once you roll things out and you learn, you'll get better and better and better. So what I'm talking about, missing keywords, not enough pictures, missing attributes, 2-word descriptions, not complete descriptions, all the things that go into a really good listing. Take the extra time to do it right on the first place, because down the road, you're going to learn that you're doing it wrong, and you're going to have to basically restart and refix and redo the things that you've done wrong. Trust me, I've been there. I've fixed thousands and thousands of listings over the last 10 years. The third one is keyword mistakes. So putting in keywords that just are not high performing, they're just filler keywords. This is, again, why it's important to use good keywords. Keywords that are targeting the wrong audience. This is something that people do, and I don't know why they do it. Maybe it's a really good keyword and it has a lot of search traffic, and they throw it into their listing. Well, that's going to attract the wrong audience, which are not going to buy your stuff, and it's going to kill your SEO ranking. So don't do that. The other thing is structure and placement, not having keywords in the right position in your listings, not having enough keywords, all the things related to that. Again, wrong keywords, not having the best performing listing keyword first in your title. So that's important. The next one is too many changes. So this is a big one I see because people are so impatient, right? We're in a quick gratification society. So people get impatient. They're like, oh, this listing isn't doing well this week, so I'm going to change it. And then another week goes by and it's not doing well, so I'm going to change it. This kills you because the algorithm resets, so every time you make a change, the algorithm resets. So you can't make too many changes too quick. You got to set it and forget it, let it ride. I like to let my listings ride for 3 to 6, maybe even 9 months, depending on the traffic, depending on what the stats are telling me before I'll make any changes. So it really depends. There's a lot of factors at play. Use the stats to your advantage, but just don't make too many changes. There's plenty of other stuff that you can focus on in your shop. Just let that listing ride for a while so you can collect data and see how it ranks. And some listings are weird, right? You could put up something, it doesn't do well for a month or two, and then all of a sudden it starts selling. So let it get to that point and see what it's going to do before you decide to make any changes. The other one, the last one, is going to be keyword dumping. And this is kind of an old strategy, but I still see people do it. So you just take a paragraph of keywords and dump it into your description. And it's not written for humans. It's just the top keywords. So this is a mistake. The algorithm notices you're doing this. It looks super spammy. So don't do it. Don't keyword dump in your description specifically. It's not going to help you. All right, so those are the top SEO tips. Follow my rules. Don't make the mistakes I just talked about, and apply these tips. And then you'll be cooking with gas, as they say. So now let's talk about, those are the top SEO mistakes. These are the top SEO tips, if I can read correctly. All right, so the first one is, unlike keyword dumping, pack in keywords in your listings. So use your full title space for keywords. Use high quality keywords in your title. Make sure you're using all of your tags. Make sure it's stuff that you've researched or have knowledge of that you're using, so you're not flying blind. Also, you use a lot of keywords in your description without keyword dumping. Write an actual description. Write it for humans. But your description, if done correctly, should include your natural keywords. Then the keywords, the best keywords that are naturally occurring in search. written in paragraph form. The other one is use categories. So your listings, you should be using categories. So it's how in Etsy you can choose categories to categorize your different listings. If you're selling holiday stuff, you could have a Christmas category. You could have a Halloween category. So break your stuff out. It not only curates it better for customers that are coming to your shop, but those categories act as mini landing pages. Those categories are keywords. So if you're curating your shop like that, those are also mini landing pages, which you can also share. If you want to promote your Christmas stuff, you can share your category link and it'll just bring up your Christmas stuff. So it's multiple faceted, but it will help you when it comes to SEO as well. The other one is attributes. So don't get filtered out. Make sure you're doing your attributes. All of your listings, depending on where, what the subject matter is of your listing, it'll have different attributes that pop up. So you want to make sure to fill out as many of those attributes as possible that are relevant. Don't fill out attributes that aren't relevant to your listing. That won't help you. But if you don't have attributes in there that are applicable to your listing, you could get filtered out. So most of the people search by the search bar. They'll type in a keyword and that's how they'll search. But some people will filter out those search results based on Etsy at the top. It'll give them different, different attributes to click on so they can filter out those results. And if your attributes aren't filled out, then you're never going to show up. You're going to get filtered out of those search results. So just make your listings a little bit more dynamic, and it's just another way for you to get found. So make sure you're including those attributes in your listings. Long tail keywords. So this is important for your title. Should include long tail keywords, especially first. So a long tail keyword is 3 or more keywords put together to form a phrase. These are best served first in your title because that holds the most search weight when it comes to how the algorithm works. So you should put your best keyword, best long tail keyword first in your title. A lot of people make the mistake of putting a keyword that's not their best first. And don't get me wrong, there's more than one way to skin a cat. There's more than one strategy, but the best way to start is by doing a long tail keyword first in your title. Because a long tail keyword, 3 or more keywords, it really narrows that search down and it's less broad. So it's going to be more specific to what a buyer is looking for. So if a buyer is searching for a long tail keyword and it matches exactly your long tail keyword, the chances of you being shown to them is going to be a lot higher because it's super relevant to what they're searching for. So that's why you want to include that first in your title. Very important. All right. The last one is backlinks. So this can really help you. The goal is getting people to stay inside your shop, inside your realm. So backlinks will help you do this. And what I mean by a backlink is in your description, you can link to relevant products, relevant listings that will help buyers find something that they may like as in addition to or as well as what they're already looking at. So you can include, you don't want to overdo this, but if they're looking at a bracelet and they're reading your description, they're like, okay, here's the matching necklace and here's the link. Okay, add the bracelet to my cart, go to the necklace, add that to my cart. It's relevant. Or if they're looking at an animal shirt and you're like, oh, here's another animal shirt that you may like, or here's another monkey shirt that you may like. Then they can click there and go. Instead of going to another shop, they're going to go and see what else you have. So backlinks will help you. Backlinks are a long tried and true SEO technique just in terms of web pages, but you can use that same tried and true technique inside your Etsy shop as well to help you. So that's really important, but be strategic with it. Don't overdo it. So that's really kind of the important takeaway, because if you have like 10 backlinks, that's too much. Paralysis by analysis. All right. Moving on. Super pro secret extra special pro tips here. So these are going to be adding a little bit more gas to your fire here. So here we go. So the first one is A/B testing. This is a great way to test things and move a lot faster. If you're not familiar, you're taking 2 of the same listing, you're duplicating the one listing into another listing, and you're testing something different, usually keywords. So you can take 2 of the same listings, change a couple of keywords around or use different keywords and see which one performs better. Keep the one that performs better, delete the one that doesn't perform. So that is a good takeaway. You can do keywords, You can do different categories. You can do different pictures. So that's a great way to test different things in your Etsy shop to move a lot faster. Another tactic is to create urgency and scarcity. I don't have scarcity up there, but I'm telling you. So how do you do that? Well, sales, promotions, limited quantities. This will get people to buy faster. So there's a reason big box stores do this all the time, because it works. It's a psychological technique. So it gets people to think that they're going to miss out. They're not going to get the special price. They're not going to get what's selling. So that's the best thing that you can do is run sales, do promotions, set up the add to cart coupon codes, the favorites coupon codes, different things like that to entice people to buy from you with urgency and scarcity. And Etsy does do some of this outside of your control. You know, if you have a limited quantity, they'll put like a little badge on the front end, letting people know that there's only one left, or the sale's ending in 2 days, or they'll mark down the price. They'll show 20% and a markdown. So there's little cues that Etsy does to kind of help move this along. But on your thing, on your end, with what you can control, I would do those things: sales, promotions, quantities. The other thing is add value. This is a big missing piece that I just think a lot of people don't put enough stock into the value piece. And this is a big thing that sets you apart from a lot of your competition, is the perceived value. You know, how can you be different than your competitors? What can you do different than your competitors are doing so people will buy from you over them? It'll not only make your listings better, but it'll attract more buyers and it'll entice them to buy. So a couple of things that you can do is quality of pictures, of course. You know, look at your competitors' pictures. Look at their videos. What are they doing? How can you duplicate that? How can you make your stuff better? It may not be better at the forefront. You know what I mean? You may have to work on it. You know, it takes time. It takes trial and error, but continue to iterate and improve on those type of things. You know, your descriptions. How can your descriptions be easier to read? Maybe you're splitting them up into sections, so people can easily jump to the question that they have. Maybe you're at a FAQ section where they get their questions answered, and then just your listings as a whole. You know, better keywords. You know, more thorough listings, all the attributes filled out, all things like that. But also value is in terms of how you're writing the listings too. You know, you can add value terminology, you know, to help explain why yours is different. You know, high quality, meticulously crafted, different things like that to explain the level of detail that goes into your items. And maybe you want to emphasize the fact that it's handmade. You know, however many hours it spends putting this thing together, or whatever the case may be. Think about your niche, what you're selling. How can you write it to set it apart? And then the other thing is you can add value in other different ways. You can add some extras, you can add bonuses, you can add guarantees, you know, complimentary items. There's different little value elements that you can add in that can kind of set you apart. Another thing is fast shipping. Processing times are a really big value add. People want stuff fast, especially in the this day and age of Amazon, unfortunately, but you can still try and get stuff out faster within reason, depending on what you're selling. I know. The other thing is you can talk about the packaging. You know, a lot of people are buying gifts. So if you have pictures of the packaging, really nice packaging in your listing, or you can even talk about it in your description, I think that's really important to add value. So those are just some of the many, many ways, depending on the different niches that you have, to add that perceived value to your listings, which is really important for people to really pull that trigger if they're comparing products. And you forget the shopping experience, right? A lot of times when you buy something, you have two like items. You know, when I buy stuff on Amazon or Etsy, I'll pull up two similar items and I'll read the description. I'm like, which one? This one may be a couple dollars more, but I'm like, this one sounds better. This one has better reviews. It just sounds better. They're more thorough. And then I'll pull the trigger. I don't mind spending more if I think I'm going to get more value out of it. It's not always. Cheaper is not always better. Cheaper can be a race to the bottom, right? So we always think like, okay, I want to undercut the competitors, go the cheapest route. And that's a race to the bottom. There's ways that you can justify your pricing. And there's ways that you can be the top tier pricing. You just have to think about the value that you're adding and give the people the reason to buy. All right. So those are the top tips, mistakes, and the rules. And here's a couple of more next steps before we get into some Q&A. Hope you found today's training useful. We went over a lot of stuff, a lot of good stuff that you guys can take action on in your business. I really hope that you do just that after this presentation in the next couple of days and weeks. But this isn't the end of the journey. Here's something great. I mentioned this at the beginning. If you guys want to take advantage of this, good. If not, that's fine too. Whatever the case may be. I just want to give you everything possible that I could give you to help make your life in your Etsy journey a lot easier. And that is the exact reason why I developed the Etsy Games VIP program. So a lot of successful entrepreneurs view success in business and online as a game. So I wanted to do that with Etsy. There's no reason why you can't, quote unquote, win Etsy and find success in regard to more sales, more traffic, all the things. So this is a program and a community with everything that you need to find success on Etsy. So the Etsy Games are a community and a program for struggling Etsy sellers with zero or few sales. If you're a beginner that want to turn your passion into profit, want to learn and move along a lot faster, maybe you're a seller who wants to reach your goals faster with less frustration. You want to learn from someone who's been there. I've been doing this thing for a decade. I figured out a few things along the way that I want to continue to share and help and also motivate you as well. That's another big part of this. Maybe you want that support. You don't want to feel alone. Selling online is lonely. There's no reason why we have to be alone. You can be with other like-minded sellers. You can be with myself to get support and motivation and anything you guys need, help with moving forward. And it's a great way to have fun. We do challenges, we do competitions. I'm developing extra tools and things to help you guys out and move your journey along a lot faster. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. This thing probably costs like hundreds or thousands of dollars, like other programs out there. People are trying to price gouge. My goal is to provide a ton of value for the least amount of money. The reason why you're at these trainings, the reason why you want to take advantage of this type of stuff is probably because you don't have a lot of money. Your business isn't doing great. Your business is just getting started. So you don't have hundreds of thousands. You don't have thousands or hundreds to invest in your business, and surely not hundreds of thousands. So my goal is to give you a fantastic program that I could probably charge hundreds or thousands for very inexpensive costs. So here's what you get inside the Etsy Games. A lot of good stuff. Mainly, it's a community. There's a help forum that you get help from me. There's live coaching every week. You get motivation, hands-on live training. We do workshops. We do all that stuff. And you get courses, follow-along courses showing you exactly how to do everything. That's the short, sweet nuts and bolts of it. There's a link below or a link to the right in the chat to join this thing. Again, this thing, like my goal was to make it as inexpensive as possible. The value of this thing compared to other programs out there and comparatively to what I've sold things for in the past is $2,400, which is crazy. I know. So I'm offering it to you not for $50. I'm going to give this thing to you for $10 a month, 80% off. Literally the cost of a Starbucks coffee with all the bells and whistles. If you don't have all the bells and whistles, it's a little bit more expensive, but hey, $10 a month to invest in your business. It's a business write-off anyways, but literally $10 to get live coaching every week, to get all the tools and resources, to get a community, to get motivation, to get support. I mean, it should be a no-brainer if you're serious about moving your business forward. I'd like to have you guys in there. I have to charge something. The software that I use costs hundreds of dollars a month. So I got to charge you guys something. I can't give everything away for free. I do these presentations away for free, but if you guys know, software isn't cheap to house this stuff, websites, all that stuff, not without going on a soapbox. You guys know that stuff is not cheap. So I got to charge a little bit of something and then just blow you away with value inside there. So here's some of the successes I've had in the past. Shelly got her 200th sale. Kimberly just got 3 orders in the same hour. Natalie got her 50th sale. Lucas made $1,600 in one day, which is crazy. He was killing it. So these are all some of the past successes of students that I've had in my programs. And I want you to have the same success. There's no reason. If they can do it, you can do it. There's literally thousands of Etsy sellers getting consistent sales on Etsy. So there's no reason why you can't do it too. You just need a framework and a roadmap to be able to do it. So my goal is to help you make your vision come to life. Can you imagine if you could get daily consistent sales in your business or consistent weekly sales in your business? There's no reason why you can't. I want to help you do that. There's students in the program right now that have got their first sales in the first week or two of joining. So everything inside is put into an easy to follow system. All you have to do is apply it to your business, and I'll be there to help you every step of the way. Invest in yourself, invest in the future. I mean, this should be, like I said, a no-brainer. Join. It's $10 a month. If you want to cancel, you can do it right from your profile. I don't control that at all. I know we kind of are jaded with some of these programs and courses, but this thing really is the real deal. It's worth a $10 investment to test it out. I guarantee you'll love it and want to stay in there. But yeah, take advantage of this offer before I increase the price. I'm not sure how I'll keep it at 10. How long I'll keep it at $10 because that is extraordinarily inexpensive right now. But click on the link to join. Hope to see you guys in there. But now we're moving on to some questions. All right. It looks like I accidentally muted myself. So we are going to move into some questions here. So whatever questions you guys have related to Etsy or SEO or any of that stuff, you can throw them in the chat. And we got a couple of minutes to go through. All right. So, all right, you guys can hear me now, right? I unmuted myself. Just let me know if you can't hear me. So how many photos should we have for each item? So great question. You should have, so there's 10 photo spots in your Etsy shop. So you want to fill out all of those photo spots. The reason being is people are very visual. They want to be able to see what you're selling them, and it's a great way to add value. So you can showcase your image. Think about making it demonstrable. Think about, like, if you think about like the sham wow or the whatever, the infomercials. It's all about making your item visually appealing and demonstrable. So you want to do that from an Etsy standpoint as well. Like, how can you showcase your item every angle? Show your item in its space. Show your item being worn. Show it in its natural setting. So you want to do your best to fill out all those photo spots with those items or with those visual elements and visual angles. Now, I know the question or the problem that you guys comes up a lot of times is, okay, well, I'm selling art. There's only so many ways I can showcase my art. I don't want to do like 1,000 different rooms or whatever. You can use your photos from a descriptive standpoint as well. So your photos don't have to be photos of the product always. You can showcase different variations. You can showcase social proof, such as past reviews, other information, ordering instructions, different things like that. You can put that into a JPEG. You can build it out on Canva and put it on a file, and then put it in your photos section. So when people are scrolling through your photos, they're seeing those other things as well, because people don't always go to your description. They don't always go to other parts of your listing. The photos is an easy win to be able to hit on those different elements. But you want to make sure to try to do all your photos. You want to make sure to do a video. Pro tip for video is you have literally 2 seconds to catch your audience in a video. It's just like TikTok or Reels or anywhere else. Your video works the same way on Etsy. When someone hovers over your item, it shows your video right away. So a lot of people will like flash their branding and they'll have like a slow intro with their video. Don't do that, because those 2 seconds are already gone. That person's already moved on. You want to showcase your image right away with the best quality video you have, kind of slamming it in their face right away so that they don't move on and it appeals to them. So that is how I would handle your photos and video. All right. Another question. Haven't been active in my shop for 3 months. Can I just start over? Start over in terms of doing a new shop. Start over in terms of kind of picking back where you left off. Uh, I would say that you could just pick up your shop where you left off. Um, I mean, it's going to be a lot easier. You know, a lot of people will leave their shop going and then it, kind of goes dead. But if you start doing the things necessary to build and grow your shop, you can pick that up and start building that shop up again. The key thing is adding new listings, being consistent with adding new listings again, and you'll start to get more traffic, and which will hopefully lead to sales. But go back and revisit your shop sections, make sure that they look good, make sure that they are all complete, so that you can have the best possible shop setup. And it helps you with SEO too. Your shop sections help you with SEO. The algorithm sees all that information that you're putting in your shop sections, your tagline, your shop, your listing sections, your about, your FAQs, all that stuff is factored into SEO, and it's factored into completeness, and it's factored into trustworthiness. When someone goes to your shop, if you have an incomplete shop, like I said earlier, it looks shady. It doesn't look good. If you didn't put enough time to complete your shop, who knows if what I'm getting from you is going to be high quality or not. So yeah, make sure that's complete. Go back in, start working on your listings again. If your listings weren't very good to begin with, which happens to all of us, restart, do new listings with what you've learned, so that you can have the best chance of success. And if your old listings have been up a long time, they're not performing, just go ahead and delete those and restart and do the new ones. So that's probably the best way to go about it. But it really just goes down to, once you start again, just being consistent. And that's with anything across the board that we do. Your Etsy shop, you want to start doing social media, you want to start doing other things. You will get momentum if you stick to a consistent plan of action. Consistently adding listings, consistently working on your shop, social media, consistently posting every single week, multiple times a week. Those are the keys where you can build and grow your shop, but also learn and make tweaks and make those little minuscule variable changes over time to improve. All right, Mark, what are the research sites again? So the main ones that I would recommend are Alora, Everbee, and eRank are the top ones. I will share. So I'm actually a partner with Alora. They asked me for feedback and all that stuff. So, but really it just comes down to, I just shared the link to Alora, then it's Everbee. I think it's everbee.com, and then it is erank.com. Are the three. Really, a lot of them do the same things. It just comes down to the look and feel. I think they all have a free trial, so you can test them out. How they look, how they feel. Are they easy to use for you? Because they're all kind of framed differently. So they're all good as long as you're using them to take action in your shop. So that's really kind of the key to it. Is how are you using them consistently? Are you using them to find out the information that you need, especially with keyword research, demand research, and then going and taking action in your shop? Because a lot of people will use them. They get lost in the weeds. Especially eRank, they have a ton of different data elements. And I know people will spend hours getting lost doing research when you could have spent those hours doing listings or a product, working on your products and working on your shop. So that's really kind of the key, is don't get in the weeds with them. Use it as a tool, be strategic, and then go take action in your shop is kind of what I would recommend. But yeah, see which ones you like best, what works for you best, and then just be consistent with using them. All right. So what other questions do we have? I think we had one earlier about backlinks. So backlinks, how you do backlinks is you would go into your listings, go to the little gear icon, and there's a share your listing. You would copy that link and then you would put it in your description, right? So you can do backlinks for specific listings related to what you're selling. Again, I would only do 1 or 2 tops. Don't do too many links in there. It's too distracting. It should be similar to what you're selling, or an accessory item to what you're selling. Ideally, it would be an accessory item to what you're selling to increase cost per customer. So if you're selling a necklace and you have a matching bracelet, include that as a backlink. Like, hey, would you also like the matching bracelet? Here's the link to that. So then they add both. So you're increasing the cost per customer, the purchase amount per customer. So be strategic with your backlinks. Don't just you're selling a tree art print, and then you just throw in a lake art print. It's like, okay, they may want that, but probably not. It's different subject matter. So that doesn't make a lot of sense. You can also do it with sets or bundles. If you're selling like a lake art print, and then maybe you have a set of three, and you're like, all right, here's the set of three. If you want this one, well, here you can get two more, discount a little bit, include the backlink, and then boom, you're increasing your revenue 3 times as much. So be strategic with your backlinks and how you're doing that, so that it makes a little bit more sense. But the whole goal of backlinks is just to increase the cost, the purchase amount per customer, but also curate it a little bit better for them, so that they can buy a little bit more, spend a little bit more money, but also you're giving them kind of more of what they're wanting, what they're asking for. So you're showcasing that for them. All right. So your backlinks. So can it be a link to my store? I wouldn't link. It's really not necessary to link to your store, or I wouldn't link to your store in your listings, because they're already at your listing. So if they want to go to your store, they'll scroll up and hit your store. So again, it's not strategic to send them only to your store. You should send them to a listing, or you can even send them to a listing section in your store. So think strategically. Why would I send them here? Again, a complimentary item, a reason that they maybe you have something that's maybe you don't have a complimentary item or an accessory item or a bundle item. Well, what else can we do? Well, if you have something that's very similar, okay, maybe we put that in there. It's like, all right, if you don't like this, here's something very close to it. Or maybe they'll want to buy both. So that's kind of the reason behind it. I wouldn't send them just to your store without being strategic about it. All right. So, all right. Any more questions? Allison, trying to fill out your Etsy Games bio won't let me continue. I'm not sure why that won't let me continue. You can email me after if you're still having problems. I'll include my email here. Sorry about that. Technology, it's great. It's good and it's bad and it's great. So I threw my email in there for you, so you can email me if you're still having issues. All right, we got another 2 minutes for any pressing questions that you guys got. I think I got all the ones earlier. I apologize if I missed any earlier, but just let me know if you're still here. Got enough time for maybe one more question if you guys have it. If not, that'll wrap for today. So I'll be back with some more good content for you guys. Again, if you want to join the VIP program, I would love to see you in there. We actually got a live coaching call tomorrow. So we do those weekly calls. We cover various topics. We do actual deep dives. These webinars I can't get as deep as I'd like to. I'll dive into my shop. I'll show you how to do stuff. I'll demo stuff. We'll do tutorials live, a lot more live hands-on type stuff. If you guys want to take advantage of that. Again, my only goal is to give you support, motivation, and help. No BS, straightforward, just good stuff for you guys. All right, that is it for today. Have an amazing rest of your Tuesday and rest of the week. Hopefully that helps you guys out. Make sure you take action on what you learned today. Be consistent, and you will see the results. So I appreciate you guys. Have an amazing rest of your day.